From the Fox 10 Gulf Stream, this is Next Weather.
Well, spring is right around the corner, and you know that means pollen season is around the corner too. Already had a few reports of some pollen on cars around the area. Meteorologist Michael White has a look at that pollen count. Michael?
Hey, Jason. So have you been sneezing lately? Have you been noticing some yellow on your car when you get ready to leave somewhere? I have, and it turns out we are getting into pollen season. That's right. It can be dreadful for a lot of us, and for a lot of you allergy sufferers, it can be very tough to deal with. This is a glimpse at how things have been over the last month, the last 30 days, and you can see the pollen count stays pretty low in January. And in late January, we had the real big drop in temperature with the ice and everything. I mean, it was practically zero. But it's nudged its way up, and now we're seeing it get higher and higher now that we're in mid-February. Here's a glimpse across the southeastern United States, and we're already in orange, which is medium high. Red is the highest, and that's a 9.7 to 12 on the pollen count scale. March is the most active month for pollen. And believe it or not, May is the least active month. This is a glimpse at a summary from February of 22 through May of last year. March is the biggest month for pollen. It's the month that we have the most content of pollen, grass, tree pollen. All of that takes place in March and even April. You can see in 22, it was April that had the highest. But you can also see May is the least amount of activity. So that means once we get through the spring and head in toward the summer, the pollen count is not really an issue anymore. But we are heading into the brunt of it. And through the summer and early fall, you can see traditionally the pollen count stays pretty low. But the springtime is when you're going to have to probably wash your car several times to get a lot of that pollen off. And if you take a road trip, it's just going to be covered in yellow. This is a glimpse at our pollen count locally. You can see you got the elm, the bald cypress, the nettle, and it's going to be a little lower as we head into Friday because we have that last cold snap. Well, I shouldn't say last cold snap, but it'll likely be the last one for a while. Will come in this weekend, so that's going to help drop the pollen count, that in the rain, and then it's going to ease its way up next week. That's right. The cold snap we're going to see this weekend might be the final one of the winter season where we end up getting a chill and temperatures back in the low 30s. We do see the possibility of late cold snaps in late March. However, that's never a guarantee. And the long-range model guidance we've been looking at Fox 10 shows that it's going to be predominantly warm with no Arctic chills all the way through early March after we get past this upcoming weekend. I'll be on Good Day Gulf Coast bright and early tomorrow for your Friday, where we will talk more about the pollen count. Rain is also back in the forecast for tomorrow. That's going to help wash some of that pollen out. And we'll talk about how cold things will get as we head in toward the weekend and the big warm up next week. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Jason?
Well, Michael, as we were tracking conditions around the area today, you may have noticed something unique with the cloud formations in the sky. And meteorologist Nicholas Herboso is here to show you what he captured on camera today.
Sunshine and a few clouds on our Thursday. What kind of clouds? Cirrus clouds. They are thin, upper-level clouds that were streaming across our sky today. And while the skies may not have looked like much, if you did take a look, you might have seen some interesting things. I took a few moments, captured a couple time lapses on the western shore of Mobile Bay. You can see the thin cirrus clouds streaming overhead with their wispy appearance. But not only cirrus clouds, I did get to catch some other interesting things, including a halo. This time-lapse captured only over a few minutes, but it shows those cirrus clouds streaming across the sky with the ice crystals helping to cause some refraction, allowing us to see the beautiful ring around the sun called the halo. Now, where did these clouds come from? They came from the west. Satellite imagery today shows them streaming across our sky, and the bigger picture shows a very large area of clouds off to our west. That's going to be streaming in, taking a ride on the jet stream, and of course that's giving us that rain chance that we've been talking about this weekend. But it's so interesting to take a look up in the sky, and we encourage you to do so. If you ever catch something interesting in the sky, be sure to send it to us with our Fox 10 News app or the Fox 10 Weather app. We would love to see it. So always keeping an eye to the sky, I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso.
All right, here's that 7-day forecast. Our rain chances are pretty low, but we do have a shot at some rain tomorrow and Saturday. Colder on Saturday night and Sunday, down in the 30s. Still 30s Monday night before we rebound and see a warming trend next week with highs in the 70s. And not much rain next week. We'll get some quiet weather as we head into the next week across the Gulf Coast.